All right, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? All right. Got some good stuff to cover today. Let me adjust there we go. There we go. How was that? Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody. It's Friday afternoon, and it's time for a little sexual kung fu, baby. And I'm here to bring it. I am here to bring it. So I got some great stuff to cover today. We're going to be talking about increasing your sexual vitality in the world that we're living in. The modern age, the age of sterilization, the age of declining hormones and health in general. But I'm going to share some keys with you guys, some secrets that will help you guys maximize your sexual vitality and your general health at this point in time, right? So first of all, let's see what's going on. What's been going on? It's been a couple of weeks, guys. I was in Florida. I was down in Florida. Spent a weekend in Daytona Beach. Got some beautiful sun, ocean. Did some cool things. Got a nice tan. You know, it was a great time. Very very relaxing. Very very nurturing for my system to just get spend all day out and out on the ocean, out on the beach, getting some sun, getting the elements. So I'm recharged, baby. My chat has not been showing for me on YouTube, so I have to pull it up in a different browser here. Some exciting things coming this year. I've been talking about this a lot, but retreats are coming soon. I'm doing at least 2 men's retreats this year, potentially a couples retreat, potentially like a camp sexual kung fu type thing where we get together somewhere out in the woods and we do Qigong all day. It's going to be super awesome. When I get the dates locked in, I'll let you guys know immediately. But for now, tentatively, we're looking at the first men's retreat here in Asheville in May, another one in August, potentially doing Camp SKF in June. So again, you guys will be first to know once I have everything locked in, just kind of get in the right place, confirmed and everything right now. All right. Daniel Remy, what's up? John Stamp, Superman, I'm great. Churchy, Hugo MHR, Spinning to Life. Good to see you guys. Spiritual Journey on Instagram, awesome. Qualified Qigong practitioner down here in Florida near Orlando area. Off the top of my head, nothing comes to mind, but I'm sure that there's some out there. The elusive search for the Qigong master. I'm still on the journey myself. No, I've met some great teachers and powerful masters. Okay, so getting right into it, guys. One last thing I want to share. I got some new programs coming this year as well. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But okay, to the promised work today. Let's talk about increasing our sexual vitality. And the title, I say, in a sterilized world. What do I mean by that? Well, you just stick around and see. We're going to get into this. Let me pull up a chair, get yourself a drink. I'm going to pour my dandelion root tea per usual here. Oh, it's all right. Dandelion root coffee, baby. This shit's strong. This ain't put some hair on your chest, boy. It's a great springtime drink because we're coming into spring. It's very spring here in Asheville. Flowers are blossoming, getting some leaves on the trees. Spring is sprung here. It's the time of transitioning into the wood element. It's time to come out of hibernation, kind of cleanse the body, detoxify, lighten up a bit, release some baggage from the winter, and get into this expansion of like, okay, what do I want to do this year? What new projects do I want? This is the time to take action. This is the time to step into what you really want. Kind of plant the seeds for the years. Time to plant your garden, baby. Get those sprouts growing. You know what I'm saying? It's also time of enhanced sexual potency, sexual. It's all the trees, the sap. The trees store their sap in the roots all winter, and now it's rising up, and it's just a sappy time. We all feel that. Everybody's a little more horny in the spring, baby. All right, so. People in general in the world at least, in the country I live here in the USA, the average person is unhealthy. People are unhealthy in general. Sexual dysfunctions are becoming a very common issue. Why is Viagra one of the most, best-selling drugs on the planet? Clearly, a lot of men can't get it up. Why can so many men not get it up? Because they have poor health. People are unhealthy. Obesity is common. Lack of exercise, stress, poor diet. We're going to get more into all these things. But do you guys remember what it was like when you were a teenager? Maybe there's probably some teenagers listening right now, some 18-year-olds and stuff. But do you remember that level of like sexual vitality and potency? Just like getting erections randomly during the day. And it was kind of embarrassing. You get up from class, you got a stiffy, you're like trying to hide it with your books. I remember those days. Wish I knew the techniques now to pull that energy out of the erection and just, subside it back then. But anyways, we had this virility, that horniness, that sex drive. And a lot of men lose that in their 20s now. Like a lot of men, by the time they're like 25, they're impotent. Premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, an inability to get it up. So sexual virility, having a healthy sex drive is an indication of good health. This is a very strong indication of good health. If you have poor sexual vitality, low libido, it means that something is wrong. This is a sign of some aspect of your body's functioning starting to decline. And if you don't do something about it, it's going to get worse. So that's an immediate warning sign for me. Anytime I have experienced diminished my libido, I'm like, oh shit, like something is up. Something is wrong. I got to fix this quick, right? So any type of health issue you may have eventually becomes a sexual issue. Eventually it becomes a sexual dysfunction. Here's the thing. As an organism, our sexuality and our ability to have, sexual desire, it's an expression of abundance. It's an expression of, I have enough resources to create life outside of myself. And that, of course, is nature's priorities, continuing the species, survival. It's our base. It's the water element, the embodiments, the desire to reproduce and keep life going. And that's important. And so when something is going on in your body, when the system's not functioning at an optimal level, the body says, okay, let's not put an emphasis on sexual desire, on sex drive, on sexual function, because that's going to waste our energy that we need just to stay alive, just to keep cellular reproduction happening, just to keep the organ system functioning, just to keep, a base level of like staying alive, right? That's your body's priority. So when your sexual function is starting to diminish, it means something's fucked up in your body. It clearly is that. And yeah, you can just go to the doctor and he goes, oh, I'll give you a pill. We'll just, we'll fix that right up, sonny. What do pharmacological drugs do? They mask symptoms. They numb you basically. So it's like, okay, you take Viagra, you get this like, I recently spoke to someone who practices this work, and he said he tried Viagra, and it was just like a very like unnatural feeling erection. Like there wasn't a lot of like sexual pleasure. It was just like, yeah, I'm stiff, but like it was almost like this foreign entity. So it's very interesting. I've never taken Viagra personally. I mean, maybe it's the shit, it could be. But the thing is, when you just take a pill for something, it numbs you and it doesn't get to the root of the issue. And if you don't correct the root of the issue, it's just going to rot more and more and more. And this is kind of, not to like stab at Western medicine, but I think you guys who follow me know I'm not the biggest fan of like the general approach of drugs and pharmaceuticals and things like that. They don't fix anything. They just numb symptoms. So all health issues become sexual issues eventually. And Chinese medicine has a great understanding that all the 5 elements, the 5 organ system, the Zhangfu, all contribute to our sexual health. And when one of your organ systems is off, it affects the whole. Everything's related in your body. It's like, again, coming back to the Western medicine thing, it's like they tend to, it's this very, 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 it's like outdated, so outdated. All the medical textbooks and everything, right? It's so outdated. And they view the body as like the way a mechanic views a car. It's like, well, there's this thing, it ain't working. We're just going to pull her on out. There we go. That'll fix her. Oh, your dick ain't working. Let's chop it off. There, I mean, they don't usually do that, but you know what I mean, though. That's instead of seeing the body as this interconnected unit, which it is energetically, even physically, all the whole system functions as a whole. As a man, your penis is a microcosm of your body. I mean, really, in general, our sexual organs are a microcosm of our body. In reflexology, they connect to the various organ systems, right? That's why, stimulate the penis, you stimulate the whole penis, you're getting a full body massage, baby. Tell that to your massage practitioner. No, don't really. I'm not promoting that. Where was I? So again, your genitals are a microcosm of the entire system of your body. So if they aren't functioning, it means that your body is not functioning in some way. So let's break down, we're going to go into depth in this one, guys. So I know lots of questions. Feel free to type in your questions, whatever. I'm going to get into the Q&A after I get my little rant here, my little download. Take a little sip of the sweet, delicious dandelion root. Roasty. Okay, so what is contributing to sexual dysfunction and really poor health in general, right? Well, the first thing to understand is that, actually, I'm going to come back to this. Okay. Whoa. I had a couple notes because I got a lot of things to share here, so I'm trying to keep it organized here. There we go. Okay, what's sterilizing us? As I said, we live in a sterilized world. People are literally becoming sterilized. More and more, infertility is becoming a much greater issue. The average testosterone level for men is becoming lower and lower and lower. A testosterone level of 500, like if you do blood tests, get your testosterone checked, a level of 500 is considered normal. In my opinion, this is low testosterone. Anything beneath 600, I would consider low. Our grandparents and great-grandparents, 1,000 as blood levels of testosterone, 1,000 was a normal level back then. So, I bet in another 10, 20 years, it's going to be like, 250 is a normal testosterone level, 300, which is unacceptable. You're limp at that point. And there's also the free testosterone thing. But the point I'm trying to make here is that, human vitality is declining in spite of our technological advancements, our, blah, 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 comforts of the modern age. People are unhealthy as shit. It's, you go spend some time in America, go look, like people are unhealthy. Why? Lack of proper diet, lack of proper exercise, poor nutritional awareness, but it's not really every people's fault. We kind of got put into this system that was put in place to keep people unhealthy. I know we're getting all conspiratorial. Well, I don't know, man. But like when you really look at this stuff, it's like there's no way that this system was designed for health, right? So without getting, let me all right, simplify things. So basically, what I believe are the main contributions to people's decline in sexual health, as far as like external factors, like things you're consuming, putting into your body, which is a big part of it. Poor foods, genetically modified foods, less nutrients in the soil. A lot of these GMOs, you're getting very, very little nutrients from. Not to mention that they're, genetically modified to interact with pesticides and things in certain ways. It really fucks up your digestive system. Glyphosate, which is the main reason why a lot of people have, celiac disease, sensitivity to gluten, which I completely avoid wheat products because of this. It messes up my stomach. I can handle it, but it's like, I'd rather not, right? So this is because of glyphosate. One of the main reasons. This is it's in pesticides. It's the Roundup. I grew up on a farm growing GMOs. I have seen the amount of shit that chemicals that get dumped on food that people are eating. So I've witnessed it firsthand. It's a lot. Let me tell you. Glyphosate's a real problem. It literally sterilizes people. It lowers hormone levels, lowers testosterone. It can boost estrogen as well, which is a problem for men. Pesticides, glyphosate, genetically, GMO foods. Tap water contains fluoride, contains chlorine, fluoridated water, often all kinds of other shit in there too. These things are very fluoride's a neurotoxin. Chlorine is too. Why are they putting this in drinking water? I don't know. I'm not going to jump to conclusions here, but I'll let you jump to your own conclusions. But the fact is that these are neurotoxins. You do not want to be consuming these things. They will sterilize you in the long run, and it will cause all kinds of cognitive decline in your brain. Don't drink tap water. I have some pretty amazing mountain well water here at the place I'm living in Asheville, but I was doing highly, highly filtered water, reverse osmosis, or distilled water. something that will completely get the fluoride out. The like average like water, those like little pitchers that have water filters in them, you pour the water in, it filters it. Those don't get fluoride out. So you need like some heavy duty stuff. Berkey water filters are great. They make fluoride attachments. So invest in clean water. It's one of the best things you can do for your health. So again, poor diet, and there's a lot more things in diet, but basically I think that's a good starting point. Another thing I'll say here is phytoestrogens. Soy, it's a huge problem. Soy's in so many things. And soy is also highly genetically modified, but it's phytoestrogen. It mimics estrogen in the body, which means that when your estrogen levels raise as a man, your testosterone lowers, you accumulate body fat, you get overweight, you develop man boobs, all this stuff. You become hormonal, you act a little more moody and emotional, and soy boy, right? Avoid soy. I was a vegetarian for 7 years and I ate a lot of soy. And let me tell you, I was a soy boy. Okay. All right. That's the diet stuff. And there's even more on that, but I think that's a good starting point. Basically, eat clean, natural foods that aren't loaded with pesticides and garbage. Drink clean water. Another huge problem for men is over ejaculation. I would say over masturbation, but specifically the ejaculatory part of that, right? Through porn conditioning, through the way we kind of, most of us as men learn about sexuality, we approach it very impulsively and we get literally addicted to ejaculating frequently. As a lot of the esoteric ancient systems well understood, and Chinese medicine understands that you can't really just ejaculate endlessly and not expect to lose something. This is a massive drain of your life force. Like, yeah, if it's once a week, if it's occasion, it's not a huge deal. But like, what are we doing? Many of us from teenage years on, we're ejaculating once, maybe multiple times a day, overstimulated by porn. We're literally dumping our vitality down the drain. And I think that's one of the main reasons actually why men's testosterone and virility overall is declining at younger and younger ages. I mean, men in their early 20s now are experiencing sexual depletion. That's a huge problem. Mostly that didn't used to come until men's 30s and 40s, but now in the age of Pornhub, I think a lot of this is the advent of tube porn, which is just like back in the day, it was like, I remember when there was like, you had to get someone to buy you, I had to get my older brother to buy me a porn magazine. Then you had that was it. It's like you scroll through the pages. It's like, well, all right. And it gets boring after a while. Then maybe you find I remember my friend's dad my friend stole one of his dad's porn videos, the DVD. So had that for a little while. Then it gets old, right? And then once my parents got dial-up internet, it was like, I could die. Of course, that was one of the first things me and my brother looked up was like, naked women. And but even then it was like, it took like a minute to load an image. I remember downloading a video. I waited like an hour to download a 10-second clip that was 240p, super pixelated. You could barely see what's happening, but now it's like parents are buying their 5-year-old smartphones, and I know there's parental filters and things, but in general, most people with access to a smartphone or computer, which is a lot of people in the world, they could be streaming unlimited HD quality porn, whatever the fuck they can think of and imagine and put it in the search browser they can find. What is that doing to our brains? Our vitality? It's just overstimulating, messing with our dopamine receptors, fucking up our brain chemistry, but driving men to ejaculate multiple times a day or regularly, which just, say goodbye to your vitality. When you're doing that, yeah, you can sustain that for a little bit in your teenage years, but you start hitting your 20s, it's like, get ready for erectile dysfunction, right? So that's a big problem. I think that's enough on those things for now. I've done. I think we get the general understanding that there's a lot of factors. This is why I say the world is being sterilized. It literally is. All these things are contributing to humans having no sex drive, men becoming more and more docile, no longer having virility and drive, and just being like, right? Soy boys and beta males are becoming the new norm. So, what do we do about this? In Chinese medicine, our sexual function is related to the kidney system. Now, the kidney system is not just the physical kidneys; that's part of it, but it's the kidneys, the bladder, a lot of the water systems of the body, the blood, the bone marrow, of course, the sexual organs themselves. For men, the testicles, penis, the prostate. For women, the yoni, the ovaries. These are all considered aspects of the kidney system. The kidney is considered to be the battery of the body. It stores our vitality, stores our postnatal jing and qi, right? That which we were given from birth. You can think of that as like your bank account. How much jing you have is like how much you were born in your bank account with. And it varies person to person. Some people got the trust fund that had a ton of jing in it. Some people were born very weak. It depends. But how do you spend that, right? If you were wise and you reinvest it, you can expect to be rich well into your old age, so to speak, right? But most people don't do that. Most of us go on a wild spending spree in our teenage years where we just ejaculate. Oh shit, I'm depleted. Where's all my jing? You spent it, right? So balancing and building your kidney energy, according to Chinese medicine, is really one of the biggest keys for sexual vitality. And this is a problem that pretty much everyone in the modern world has, is deficient kidney yin. There's kidney yin, there's kidney yang, but kidney yin is what we burn out. You can think of kidney yin as like the amount of, so like in the metaphor of a fire, kidney yin would be like the amount of wood you have, the amount of base material, the fuel for the fire, whereas the kidney yang is the fire itself, right? What exhausts kidney yin? Well, everything I was talking about, poor diet, all these things, but the biggest thing is stress and overworking, overdoing, overthinking, overaccomplishing. Sounds like our modern world, right? Not to say you can't be productive and things like that, right? But the problem is that a lot of us don't know when to quit because we're expected to. We live in a slave system where people are expected to work 40 hours a week to make just enough money to pay their bills. I mean, they're slaves. They're basically slaves, right? Just enough, working their ass off just to have a place to live and food to eat. I mean, that's the definition of a slave. So overworking, stress. Stress is the biggest, number one thing that is hurting people's sexual vitality. Cortisol levels increase when you're stressed, and whenever cortisol levels increase, testosterone levels decrease. When you have high cortisol, you have low testosterone for men. So when you're stressed out, it takes a toll on your testosterone. Some people will handle stress better than others, and you can learn to handle stress better. Things I'll be talking about soon. But in general, living an overstressed life, say goodbye to your sexual vitality. Say goodbye to it, right? And that's what so many men, I think that's the biggest thing, why so many people are sexually depleted, why Viagra is one of the best-selling drugs in the world. People are fucked up. They're sexually depleted. Stress and all the other things, even the diet thing, if you really can manage your stress and your internal kind of imbalance, you can handle some external stressors like diet and things like that. But it's like when you're already stressed out, when your system's already taxed, you're eating garbage foods, GMOs, pesticides on top of that. It's just, it's a time bomb. Okay. So how to rebuild this kidney energy and some other things to rebuild your sexual vitality. The number one thing is reducing stress any way that you can. Stop spending so much time on a phone, on a screen, and I know we're all here on screens right now. So the benefit is that, obviously the benefits of social media and enhanced communication is there, but not without its drawbacks. The drawbacks being that people literally get addicted to it. They're staring at their screens all day. It's overstimulating their brain chemistry, overstimulating their nervous system. They're stuck in their heads, disconnected from their bodies, and stressed the fuck out. It becomes an escape. People numb themselves by staring at a screen all day because they don't want to feel what they're feeling, because they don't like their lives, because they're stressed out, because they're working a bullshit job, they're in a relationship they don't like, and on and on and on. It's an avoidance thing, right? So there's that. Having more quiet time, more time in nature is very important. The kidneys like stillness. They like rest and just feeling like calm, at ease. Like, again, last week I was on the beach, just laying on the sand, just breathing, just feeling, listening to the ocean waves coming in. That is rejuvenative. And my sexual vitality was just very strong, getting sun on my skin. Yeah. There's a crazy windstorm right now. I'm getting excited. The wind's increasing. Okay. Um, lowering your cortisol level, very important. How do you do this? Stop stressing, but things that help you stop stressing, body-centric things that get you in your body, get you out of your head. Breath work, calm breathing is one of the number one things. Also, like very low anchored breathing in the abdomen. I'm not talking about like pranayama, like that could be a great practice as well, but it doesn't have the same effect as really low, slow, calm belly abdominal centric breathing. This supports the kidney system, literally breathing into the kidneys and the low back gently. Helps to pull the chi down. The lungs and the metal element condenses the chi of the outside world, and then it sinks down into the kidneys, and the kidneys digest that energy. But if the breath is not anchored low and gentle in the lower belly, it won't be as nourishing for the kidneys. If you're breathing up in your chest, it's just increasing your stress response. So proper breathing is one of the greatest things you can do for your health and your sexual vitality. Avoiding all the food things I was talking about, eating clean, drinking clean water, breathing clean air. That's a big thing as well. Qigong, practicing Qigong daily. I've got a whole playlist of Qigong practices, but practicing Qigong becomes a self-cultivation, self-healing, self-balancing system. I know a lot of people who are very powerful Qigong practitioners, very committed cultivators, and some of them who have poor lifestyle, have poor diet, they still have radiant health, because this is the thing. If you really get your Qi cultivation solid, you can actually digest a lot of potentially take in negative things and digest them and transmute them into something usable. It's a very interesting thing, right? So highly, of course, if I said do one thing, it'd be do Qigong, because I fucking love Qigong. Completely changed my life, gave me great health, great energy levels. So I recommend, start with 10, 15 minutes a day, Qigong, work up from there. Yoga is great as well. Get you in your body, get your blood circulating. Proper exercise, move your body. Again, if you don't move your body, it's not going to function well. Your organs are not going to function well. Your body's not going to be circulating blood. Your digestion's going to be shitty. So get the fuck off the couch and exercise. It's not that hard. Walk for an hour a day. That's a good starting point. Yeah. Proper breathing, I mentioned that. Cold water exposure is another really, really great thing that helps you when you get in ice water, cold water. Start with cold water, and then you do ice baths. It quickly puts you in a parasympathetic state. Helps you lower your stress levels. Spending time in nature. We need to be in nature. If I've noticed, when I'm spending a lot of time in big cities and things like that, there's a lot of external stress and stimulation. And when I get back in nature, it's like, our bodies are wired to be in nature. So get some nature time. Everyone lives within, a certain amount of time from a park, at least, where you can go freaking be under a tree, but even better to get out in the hills, be in nature. The more time you spend in nature, the better your vitality will be. You just feel better. Your body functions better when you're spending time in nature. Maximizing sleep. This is very important. Don't be on your phone at, an hour before you're going to sleep. It's going to fuck up your melatonin. It's going to suppress your melatonin production. I turn my phone off around 7 or 8 p.m. and I'm not on it after that. No screens, at least 90 minutes before sleep. Often I'm doing 3 hours, no screens before sleep. And it really improves your sleep. If you absolutely must, use blue light glasses, but even that, avoid screen time. Have a nice kind of transition into rest and stillness. Maximizing that's the most important thing, honestly, sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you're not going to have hormone balance. You're not going to have vitality. It doesn't matter what else you're doing. Yeah, I think that's enough there. I dropped quite a bit, but I think this is important. We live in a world of depletion and very poor health. And unfortunately, we weren't educated as to how to keep ourselves healthy, the proper foods to eat, the proper way to exercise and all these things. So we have to learn this for ourselves and implement it. It's a journey, but again, we all can have radiant health, radiant vitality, radiant sexual potency if we really choose to. So there you go. There it is. There it is. All right. Let me get some questions now. Thanks for joining, everybody. It's always good to hang out. Good to be with you guys. Good to see you. Pure Presence says they can't stop the sex kung fu. That's right, baby. I'm still banned on Instagram. I've got my backup Instagram account. There's 3 people on there, 3 whole people on there. And hey, it's better than nothing. So yeah, it's been a month and a half, almost 2 months. My Instagram got taken down. suspended for, bullshit. There's fucking porn on Instagram. There's straight up porn, and they're taking my stuff down. It's I know. We know what it is. It's all good. So like I I get the account back. I was like, oh, we have deactivated your account by mistake. We're sorry. You log back in. So I log back in. 5 minutes later, it's taken down again. This has been going on for, a month. I'll be back. I'll get my Instagram account back. They're just, the AI overlords are trying to figure this shit out right now. Okay. Me Gusta Dormir says, I have been doing once a month ejaculation using my semen as a facial mask. Do you know any benefit of this? Well, I mean, I can see that it would be beneficial because your semen is loaded with nutrients and it's highly, highly refined, powerful substance. So I'm sure it would be great for your skin. Your face. Why do you? I was gonna say, why do you think chicks love it on their faces? But I don't know if that's true. It's just probably our porn conditioning, right? But some do for sure. Yeah, sure, it's beneficial. In fact, one of my teachers, who's a woman, said that that semen makes the best facial mask. So go for it. Put that back into your skin. I know this. I think I've told the story, but this guy I know, one of those like fanatical, I can never ejaculate, and I'm the baddest ass person because I went 20 years without ejaculating. 20 years. I'm like, wow, 20 years. He's like, well, if I ejaculate, I just rub it onto my belly and I reabsorb it, so it doesn't count as ejaculate. I'm like, bro, like, okay, well, in that case, I've gone fucking 6 years too. Okay. Yeah. Anyways. All right, get into questions. Feel free to tap in your questions in the chat box. We'll see what you guys got. Putera Fail Rosa, I butchered that. I'm sorry. Says, hey man, love your content. I'm from Brazil. Send me a hug. Send you a hug, brother. Hug from America. Okay. First question. Spinning to Life says, quick question, brother. Does semen retention decrease anxiety? I deal with a lot of it, and I have only made it 3 days so far. So this is one of those things where, like, I'll say yes and no. There's many causes to anxiety. Anxiety certainly can be linked to like depletion. When your kidney energy is really dried up, you'll experience a lot of fear, a lot of like potentially anxiety type symptoms as well, brain fog. So if the underlying cause is more of like a depletion thing, then yes, it will help with that. Personally, I felt a lot less kind of, I used to have some anxiety earlier on in my life. And when I started practicing sexual Kung Fu, semen retention, Qigong and everything, it went away. But the thing is that, again, coming back to, there can be a lot of different causes of anxiety. So if it's something else, if it's like some weird imbalance in your energetic system, doing semen retention without skill, like holding on to sexual energy without understanding how to like transmute it and circulate it and refine it,